Shalom, saints. I want to welcome you back to another Shabbat of the Most High, El Elyon, the Almighty, El Shaddai. We here at the MOC Ministry seek to teach all nations of people how to find true salvation according to the scripture, the lost books, and history. I am Raah Ban El Elyon. This is my reader, Brother Maka. Today, sisters and brothers, we're going to go into a lesson titled, Forgive Us This Day. The Bible study we're going to go into today is titled, Forgive Us This Day. I got a question for you. Do we need to ask the millennials and the Z generation for forgiveness? Do the baby boomers need to ask us for forgiveness? What are you saying, Raah? Have the generations been failing those that are to come? Did the baby boomers do their job? Let's say that they did. Did the X generation, did we do our job? Only the millennials can say. Mm-hmm. But now we got these Z babies and these alpha babies coming up. Did we do our job? When you look at the landscape of our community, our churches, our schools, did we do our job? Or do we need to ask for forgiveness? This is going to be our Bible study lesson today. So I pray that you're edified by the scripture reading and the information that we bring out. So stay tuned. After we open up, after this song selection, we will get into the Bible study lesson entitled, Forgive Us This Day. Khan? Well, let's stand. Let's face toward Jerusalem. Let's open up. We're going to repeat after Brother Maka, coming from the book of Luke, chapter 11. Whenever you're ready, all right?
Praise ye El.
Praise ye El.
Praise El Elyon.
Praise El Elyon.
Praise El in his sanctuary.
Praise El in his sanctuary.
Praise El in the firmament of his power.
Praise El in the firmament of his power.
Praise El for his mighty acts.
Praise El for his mighty acts.
Praise El according to his excellent greatness.
Praise El according to his excellent greatness.
Praise El with the sound of the trumpet.
Praise El with the sound of the trumpet.
Praise El with the psaltery and harp.
Praise El with the psaltery and harp.
Praise El with the timbrel and dance.
Praise El with the timbrel and dance.
Praise El with the string instruments and organs.
Praise El with the string instruments and organs.
Praise El upon the loud cymbals.
Praise El upon the loud cymbals.
Praise El upon the high sounding cymbals.
Praise El upon the high sounding cymbals.
Let everything that hath breath.
Let everything that hath breath.
Praise El.
Praise El.
Praise ye El Elyon.
Praise ye El Elyon. Allah, sisters and brothers. Right after this song selection, we will begin our Bible study.
All right, today sounds like some self-reflection, right? So I want you to think about, what do people see when they look at you? All praise.
The world can try and deny you because of your faith at any time. I've seen tribulations, real isolation, because evil can seem divine. What in the world are we gonna do? El, I need them to see the truth. The earth wax cold in the midst of you. Let me be light. Tell me what you see when you look at me. Can you see love, joy, peace, and long suffering? I'm walking in the ways of Christ so I can be free. So tell me what you see. 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 I can't hate my brother, must love one another. Envy and strife won't block my way. I'm on a journey, a spiritual journey, renewing my mind every single day. What in the world are we gonna do? Hell, I need them to see the truth. The earth was cold in the midst of you. Let me be light. Tell me what you see when you look at me. Can you see love, joy, peace, and long suffering? I'm walking in the ways of Christ so that I might be free. Woo! So tell me what you see. 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 Don't wanna be carnal. Gotta walk in righteousness. Must be the example, displaying the fruits of the Spirit. Woo! Hey! I'm walking in the ways of life.
Keep going, fellas. Hey.
Long suffering, I'm walking in the ways of Christ so that I might be free. So tell me what you see. Tell me what you see. Tell me what you see.
All praises.
Couldn't have been a better song selection for this lesson today. Here's a disclaimer. Don't get in your feelings. Just fix it. Put that at the top of your notes. Don't get in your feelings. That's probably me. Just fix it, right? So in the beginning, I asked a question, which should be in your notes. Have the generations failed, or have we failed our young ones? Baby boomer to the X generation. X generation has millennials. Millennials are having all these alpha babies, right? When you look at our community, we was talking to someone recently, me and my wife, and a statement was made of how tough it would be for her young son to forgive his father. So it kind of spearheaded this lesson. We could go big, but when it comes down to it, our relationships within our own house, within our own churches, communities, and schools, that's really what drives our community, does it not?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you start thinking about forgiveness, it's going to be a lot of reasons why it should be many of us asking for forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Not looking for it, asking for it this day. Because there's a lot of people out here placing blame on someone else for their life, for their situation, for whatever's going on. There's always somebody to blame. But there's never anyone repenting and asking for forgiveness. There's a lot of reasons to hate someone. It's a lot of reasons to not fool with someone. But until you speak to them, until you have those one-on-ones and really lay it out on the line, how big did you make it? Was it a little thing you made big, or was it really big? But when you think about what's going on in our families and friends and people not dealing with each other, it spearheads this lesson here. Forgive us this day. It's a lot of forgiveness to go around, but people aren't receiving it. It isn't really changing much of anything, because just like love and hate, forgiveness is an actionable word. Why ask to be forgiven if nothing's going to change?
Right.
Why tell me you love me and your actions don't show me love? Because when you hate somebody, you hating them, and they know it.
Right.
They know it. You done logged off. You done kicked them off your social medias. People don't call each other no more. So the way you know somebody don't fool with you no more is when they unfriend you, unsubscribe, unfollow. It gets so petty now. If people aren't commenting on your posts, oh, it's an issue. So-and-so got an issue with me. You don't know if so-and-so going through hell in their life, but you just worried about, well, they normally comment. They at least hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? It's getting so petty now that I need to do a lesson right now, because we need to have a forgive us this day moment.
Right.
Out of everything going on in the world today, we need to refocus and regroup and look at our relationships now, because our relationships could be the thing that's hindering our blessings.
That's right.
I don't know. It's some saints out here that think they can still be blessed and hold grudges. I can still make my offerings. I can still do the work of the Most High. My ministry, my business, everything is going to flourish, even though I'm still holding these grudges. Is that good? Let's start right here. We got a lot to go over. Let's start here with some definitions. Let's start with two definitions: forgive and forgiveness. Go ahead, Art.
Forgive is to cease to feel resentment against an offender, or to pardon.
Pardon. We had family members locked up for 15, 20, 30 years. Trump comes in, pardons them.
Yes.
You got people on death row, whether they did or didn't do it. Governor can make a call, pardon. You no longer have to do time. You no longer have to be held guilty of whatever crime. But when it comes to an issue with somebody, man, you might as well be locked up in D-Max. You might as well be locked up in the worst prison on this earth, a floating barge in the middle of the North Sea, where if you jump out, you dead, whatever it is. You might as well be in the worst prison imaginable, because that's how people react when you did me wrong.
Yeah.
But when someone says, man, listen, I'm sorry. Hey, listen. I was beyond myself. I was full of myself. What the things I said you did, you didn't do. The things that I had imagined in my head because I held this grudge so long, I mean, the devil just ran with me. I am supposed to cease feeling resentment towards you. Forgive me. That sounded easy, didn't it? But I'm telling you, pride, people's self-ambitions, keep them from saying simply, I was wrong. What is social media and what do we see now on reality TV? It tells you to double down on the lie.
Yeah.
Like double down on the accusation.
Mm-hmm.
Go hard, throw things, be believable, make people come to your side when it would be easy to just say, man, we was both wrong.
Right.
Cam Newton get on there. I mean, it ain't nothing to say. I'm a world-class champion on multiple levels. He's been a champion his whole life in football. A great leader, misunderstood as a person. Many people eating off of the things that he's created in his mind to do.
Absolutely.
His talent is now feeding other people. He gets in a fight, it's, oh my goodness. He didn't commit pedophilia.
No.
He didn't kidnap nobody.
No.
He didn't bomb and kill hundreds and thousands of people.
Nope.
He didn't put chemical warfare out. He got into a brawl because words hurt. Words lead to hurt. I don't know what people think. Words don't lead to you getting smacked or it's a point where your words stop. I no longer want to play the word game. There is another level. Police call it escalate to the threat.
Mm-hmm.
If you punch in, I'm going to use a baton. If you pick up a bat, I'm going to get my taser. If it's more than one of you, I'm going to get my gun. You're like, there's levels to this thing. But to the point, he's man enough to get on there and say, ain't no excuse. Y'all forgive me. I take the blame. I was wrong. Don't care what they said. He could have went down the whole tag, what was said, instead he just said, hey, I'm sorry, y'all forgive me. It should have never happened. So imagine this scenario and imagine forgive, cease to feel resentment. Now imagine the issues that we have in our families. Remember, I said we could go wide. Mm-hmm. But really our community issue is us.
Yeah.
It's fathers and sons, mamas and daughters, all these blended relationships going on. That's all of these marriages, non-marriages, marriages not more. See that? Resent against. Ain't nobody giving no pardons, no quarrel. What is it? What is the word? Not quarrel, no, it's a word saying I'm not giving you no reprieve. It's somebody gonna put it in the comments, right? No, is it quarter? But regardless, think of this. Nobody is wanting to budge. Everybody needs to be right when it's a problem. Mm-hmm. Who fault is it? Let's gang up on the person who fault it is, where it takes two to tango. It takes two to tango. What happened in sports? Ariana, you come and hit me in the ear, I turn around and slap you in the nose. They didn't see you hit me in the ear. Who get the penalty? The last person they see get the technical, right? Back then. Now they got video.
Yeah.
Now they can go to the video and catch you.
They got rewind now.
But before they had rewind, the second person always get caught. Yeah. Football field, basketball court, wherever.
Everywhere.
We don't have that in our lives. We don't have no instant replay. Based on your relationship, you picking who you want to believe. Socially, right? I like the way he dressed. I like the way he moved. He got some motion. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he right. It's her fault. It's her fault. She looked like a Jezebel. She looked like a fluke. Everybody just picking off of superficial things. Nobody was really in that room to really determine who should forgive. We don't have the Urim and the Thummim no more, right?
Right.
We don't have the priest no more.
Right.
So what is forgiveness then?
Forgiveness, an intentional decision to let go of resentment and anger.
Intentional. It's intentional. You can't use the word forgive. You can't use the word love. See how actionable they are, intentional words. You say you hate somebody, man, that is intentional. You can't accidentally say I hate you. You don't accidentally tell somebody you love them. You don't accidentally say I forgive you. It is intentional. Go ahead. That was it. It's an intentional decision to pardon and forgive somebody. Have we done that, right? You're not gonna see that on social media. You're just gonna see the X generation fighting against millennials fighting against the baby boomers. Everybody passing the buck.
Yeah,
it's y'all old school. Y'all dropped the ball, school. No, youngster, y'all just ain't listening to us. Well, what have y'all done for us to listen to? Y'all the ones sold the crack, got us on crack. That's why we got all these crack babies. Right? Everybody passing the buck. You was on crack, or you a crack baby, and now it's all mixed up. Whose fault is it? Who dropped the ball? Nobody want to forgive each other. Now you can't tell them, baby boomers can't tell millennial nothing. Millennial can't tell Z, I'm sorry. Baby boomers can't tell X anything.
Right.
X can't tell millennials. And these millennials and these A-baby, they think they know it all.
Know it all.
These young kids think they know it all because they got motion, they got social. I'm on Twitch, I'm on this, and I play Call of Duty, and I play video games, and I can fight. You can fight on the video game. You ain't never been hit. You ain't never been hit in the mouth. You playing Naruto, you thinking this is a video game. That's a video game.
Yes, sir.
When somebody hit you in your stomach, boom, and your air go out of you. You gonna get down and lay down.
This shit gonna roll with it or get rolled over.
I can't breathe. You ain't never had your air taken from you, have you? You ain't had nobody in a full Nelson, had your arms all jacked up. You ain't never been put in a submission hold. Is that tapping out in the street?
No.
Can you tap out in the street?
No.
Now everybody a UFC fighter. Is that tapping out in the street? They're just gonna break your arm. You understand? They're gonna choke you out till you sleep. There ain't no referees, ain't no forgiveness, ain't no quarter. You're not getting no break. That time out, I was wrong.
Time out.
I have time out. Look at this. Let's go to Proverbs. It's intentional. He broke my tooth out. You forgive him? How about Bottom John?
Man.
I forgive her. She didn't know. She went in the wrong apartment. She shot my son. Forgiveness. You see how intentional? You took my loved one away from me.
On purpose.
On purpose.
And I gotta forgive you in front of the world.
Because Jesus.
Man, say.
Jesus says forgive. Well, if you intentionally kill somebody and you intentionally asking for forgiveness, do you intentionally deserve it?
No, you intentionally a murderer.
See how I'm starting to pluck different feelings by just babbling on, right?
Yeah.
The purpose is to get you to feel all these feelings and put you in these situations because we fit to go really deep here, right? So let's see what some scriptures say. Proverbs 24, verse 16 to 18. Yeah, this message is for young ones. If you 10 and up, get them in the room. They should be listening to this. 24 and 16. Go ahead.
For a just man falleth 7 times.
So if a just man falls 7 times, how about all of us that pretending to be holy? Acting like you got a dog in a fight, like your life screwed up, but you think you got something to say about somebody else's life. And the scriptures say you gonna fall and you falling, but we talk like we don't be falling. We got that from the baby boomers. Granddaddy and them acting like, they sitting in their suits acting, hallelujah, amen. Sisters, praise said, pastor. So we watching it, right? So we get into church and we watching this, right? And then we go home, daddy's got the beer, got the cigar, got the pipe, everybody cussing at the barbecue. They go to church. Deacon so-and-so, minister so, sister. So the baby boomers showing this fakeness. Baby boomers, the X generation pick it up. Now we the fools now. These are the people that's in the pulpits today. These are the ones sleeping around. You all right? These are the ones in the pulpits now, sleeping around, playing around, stealing, asking why the millennials leaving my church. Millennials and they babies ain't there, and the X generation is in and out, still showing up on Easter and such and such. So all these generations, right? Everybody holy. Number one religion right now, it's back and forth between Islam and Jesus.
Yep.
But everybody spiritual and everybody in church. Everybody acting like just men don't fall.
Right.
You young people, you do know just men fall. Everybody make mistakes. It's not for you to use the scripture but saying, see daddy, see uncle, see, everybody make mistakes. No, the whole point is to not make mistakes.
Right.
Just because someone did make a mistake is not a green light for everybody to screw up. It's supposed to be wisdom passed down to eliminate mistakes, right? Go ahead, from the top.
Or a just man falleth 7 times and rises up again.
Oh, you're supposed to get up. You ain't supposed to fall and then ask for a pity party. Let everybody fight everybody that's seeing your fall, or spend your time fighting so no one knows you failed. The whole point is to get up and use that experience to keep others from making it. Go ahead.
And rises up again. But the wicked
wrong with them?
Shall fall into mischief.
See, wicked people that stay. This is what we seeing on social media. This is what our reality TV show. When you fall, so you make a bigger mess out of the situation instead of just repenting, ask for forgiveness, and showing a better light. Our community feeds off the mischief. You understand? You're only watching these certain people, or you're only following certain things because you like the mischief. You like the fall in certain people. Go ahead.
Rejoice not when thine enemy falleth.
So we're not supposed to rejoice when we see certain people falling. But I'm sure when Cam Newton got in trouble, some people laughed about it.
Oh, yeah.
Some people enjoyed it.
Got it.
Right? If you call out Eddie Long in his era, it's not to rejoice that he got caught. He should have been even more so repentant. You understand? Jamal Bryant, all that. You're not supposed to get up there and try to find a way to weasel around and put distance between you and the error. If you get up there and the people say you no longer can be the pastor and bishop and you got to step down indefinitely, that is the lot in life. You make a mistake at your job, are they going, hey, we're going to send you to another district. You do such a good job, we just going to send you to another state. They don't know you, as if your character doesn't follow you through everywhere the chain and the phone. Because you get to the new place, what they going to do? They're going to call the old place.
Come on, man.
It's somebody there, no matter the level, that knows somebody where you came from, and then it's going to weasel its way back and find you.
They're going to find out the scoop.
You can't run from it. So you should rejoice when people fall, but when you see an archbishop get caught up, and then they move him to another diocese, that ain't right.
It ain't.
He should not be able to still stand and minister over people. It says something to the organization. So you shouldn't be happy when people fall. Go ahead.
And let not thine heart be glad when he stumbles.
Why shouldn't you be glad when you see your daddy's fall, or your uncle fall, or so-and-so in mischief, or this sister, this cousin living an alternative lifestyle, or that cousin on crack? Why shouldn't you be joyful when you see people fall, as if you can move up in the family reunion and I get to speak at the funeral? It's weird things that family members want to do above somebody else.
Mhm.
I want people to call me. I want people to see me as the big sister, the big cousin, the big brother. So they want to see you fall. They want to see family members move out of the way and not do well. Not all, but in majority. When it break, the whole thing break apart. Go ahead.
Lest L see it.
He gonna see you rejoicing in the fall of your friend of me, family of me, work of me, whoever you wishing harm for. If they fall, if they get fired, if whatever happened, he gonna see you being glad. And what happened?
And it displeased him, and he turned away his wrath from him.
Uh-oh. So now that hit hard to all the people at work that be wishing harm on old girl or old dude, right?
Yeah.
Don't matter how evil he or she is, our job as saints is not to be glorifying in they fall. Because we supposed to help people from falling.
That's right.
Right? All right, let's go to here we go, fumbling. Moving too fast. All right. 1 second. Matthew chapter 18. Matthew 18, we're going to start at verse 21. Matthew 18. Matthew 18, verse 21. Go ahead, Art.
Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him till 7 times?
Wait a minute. My brother, my sister, my auntie, my uncle, grandma, somebody important to you, you got an issue with them, and he basically like, how many times should I forgive them? Why? He didn't say, why do I have to forgive them? Because he already know he's supposed to forgive them. How many times though? It's got to be a reason why I don't have to forgive them. Which is forgiveness is what? Pardoning them. Intentionally removing the resentment from you. Go ahead.
Yahweh said unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7.
I mean, to this point, you forgive them every time.
Every time.
Every time. Let's go to Mark chapter 11. Mark chapter 11, starting at verse 25. Remember these scriptures. Remember the questions I asked, because we got a nation of people, over 40 million indigenous Americans here, right? You break it down, in each state, we got all this populations of people which form communities. Our communities aren't what they used to be. They're fractioned, right?
Correct.
We used to all be in one place on that side of the railroad tracks. Now we all over the metroplex. We all in the country. We everywhere, right? Now you come down into these smaller pockets and into our communities of houses of people. Now we're starting to see the complexity of, oh man, that's why church is on every corner. No forgiveness. Different denominations, no forgiveness. Denominations can't get along. All Abrahamic faiths, no forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Mark 11:25. Go ahead.
And when you stand praying, forgive.
Everybody is praying. All you watching, all the hecklers from Islam, all the people from the universal God, all the people from atheists, all the people that got something to say, be praying. Everybody praying, wanting their prayers.
If you have aught against any, that your Father also, which is in heaven, may forgive you your trespasses.
Listen, young people. Listen, older people. Listen, you young ones that think y'all can run around and hold grudges and be mean and treat people to any kind of way. Listen, you ain't going to have favor with the Most High. You ain't going to be very pleasing with the Most High. You blaming daddy, you blaming mama, everybody blaming somebody, blaming the kid. It's everybody's fault but your fault. You the only one that's angry. You the only one that's angry. Whether you can have a conversation with your family members and friends, or you feel comfortable or not, the best way to deal with things is through communication.
Absolutely.
And if you don't have great communication skills, that is the main thing you need to be spending your time on these smartphones to get smart. It ain't nothing but pulling up YouTube, how to have better conversations with whoever. Communications 101. It's going to be on YouTube, YouTube University. It's going to be somebody on there teaching you how to eloquently speak your mind.
They got AI for it.
They got AI, you got Toastmasters.
Yes, sir.
AI, Garmin, Google, whoever it is. Alexa. How should I speak to so-and-so and let them know how I feel?
Right.
She's going to speak back.
Right.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Because this is the issue with this lesson, right? When I heard that lady say, man, he just won't forgive his daddy, I'm just sitting there like, but they going to church. Looking for churches, going to churches. And I'm sitting here like, they named some big name pastor in Fort Worth, and I'm like, didn't he teach your son to forgive? Ain't you teaching your son to forgive? You gotta forgive your. And what happens when how long does it take for these millennials and these alpha babies? You said you need to forgive your daddy. And like what kind of response would you as a parent accept when you tell your kid you gotta forgive your mama, you gotta forgive your daddy, you gotta forgive so and so? Like what's an acceptable response that you would take from them? What if they tell you I ain't gonna do it? What if you got one of them little sassy boy children?
I hope they don't say it like that.
Well, you got one of them little them girls that just, I ain't going to. These are people that birthed you.
Or you talking about the one that you befriended instead of be parented?
Yeah, I mean, okay. So the friendship, so eventually they lost the like, hey, I'm feeding you. You ain't even alive. I mean, you're in a wasteful diaper. You're in foster care. You are sold over to Arabia somewhere. Like somebody had to love you and care for you to keep you close, keep you protected, keep you clean, keep you fed. And now you growing up and you telling them you don't want to eat the food, or you eating up all the food, not thinking about anybody. Like somebody cared for you. How did you get so disrespectful? How did you get so hateful to where you dishonor the people that now you think you know more than them? Like how you get to that point now where you don't want to talk to the person that conceived you?
Right. That's tough.
Like that's what we dealing with right now. Everybody in church, but I don't know what the churches are teaching and how your kids is in church, you in church with them. Like, what are they teaching that these kids don't understand? Forgiveness, repentance. Just say, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. These kids can't be wrong today. Like, how does a kid stay in your house that disrespects their parent, but they bathing, using your water, they on their video game, use your electricity, they locking the door, they don't pay no rent in, they wearing clothes they can't buy for themselves. And they think they should go wherever they want to go, but you got to drive. How crazy is this? Don't you know the daddy you hate is the one sending money for you? I ain't doing this alone. I hope the mamas is saying they're not doing it alone. Right? Go ahead from the top.
And when you stand praying.
Y'all did teach your kids to pray when they was little. Kids know who they praying to and know why they praying. Go ahead.
Forgive.
Because if you're trying to pray, it's a lot of reasons why your prayer won't be heard from the Most High. But if you're trying to pray for anything and you don't forgive, go ahead.
That your Father, Salakia, if you have aught against any, that your Father also which is in heaven may forgive you your trespass.
Go ahead.
But if ye do not forgive, neither will your Father which is in heaven forgive your trespasses.
Listen to me, parent. you are looking at a dead child walking if you allow them to keep living in unforgiveness. They don't stand a chance. I don't even know why I would go to church with an unforgiving child. Like, I'm going. I don't know about him. You mean her, him, the one you gave birth to? You allow them to live in sin and thinking it's okay for me. I'm making it here. I don't know, man. I just gave birth to them. I don't know what they thinking.
Whoa.
What kind of mindset is that? Is that not crazy?
Whoa.
You the teacher. My daughter and them, they know I'm the number one teacher. You can learn from other people, but I'm the number one teacher. I'm gonna course correct everything that I don't like that come into their pathway. Eventually, they're gonna get old enough to where now they gotta start making that decision. Hopefully, it's based off of what you told them so they stay out of trouble.
Right.
Number one principle. Hey, John 9:31, man, if you ain't sin, he don't hear your prayer. All right. If you don't forgive, he don't hear your prayer. Husband and wife, y'all ain't getting along, he don't hear your prayer. Kids, you don't honor your mother and father, he don't hear your prayer, and you short your life. I mean, we could just go on and on like these kids are not being raised biblically.
That's right.
I don't care about your church denomination. They're just not being raised on biblical
That's right.
principle of forgiveness. So let's keep going. So we got family units, and it's like parents today, grandparents today. It's like, you know, when you get a puppy, it's like, oh, puppy's so cute. About 4 months. I don't know about this dog. About a year later, hey man, we're gonna get rid of this stuff. You know what I mean? They cute when they live. It's like parents and grandparents is dealing with it. Like, yeah. I mean, you hear a grandparent talk, hey, that ain't my grandkid. Walking around all sassy with a pen. That ain't my grand. You know, you hear grandparents like, that ain't my grand. It is your grandchild. That's your grandchild right there. That's your granddaughter right there. Dressed like that, dancing like that at the cookout in front of you. You didn't raise your children right. So now them your grandkids, them your great grandkids doing that right there. Yeah, that's your grandson locked up. That's him on Channel 2 News. Yep, he did that to that girl at that school. That's your grandbaby. You hear what I'm saying? So a lot of people need to be asking for forgiveness, especially if you're trying to sit up there and be big mama, matriarch of the whole family. You're trying to be grandpa, and hey, you know, I'm the head patriarch around here. Look at your family. If they all like you, you the problem. Because the way these generations have been failing, it need to be a whole bunch of course correcting. It should be a whole bunch of angry alpha, Z babies, millennial babies. It should be a whole bunch of angry people.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that feel like they've been failed.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go back and look at it when they was little and we was together, everything was good. So how do you break up a beautiful, loving home? How does that happen?
Allow sin to get in.
It's somebody's fault. If this little boy grow up and now he want to be something else, or if this girl grow up and instead of praying, now she on national TV walking with no clothes on, all shimmer with her whole body showing. How do they go from nice, wholesome babies? I'm talking about in the truth too. You spiritual Christians, all you holy people, don't act like it don't be happening to your children.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. I was watching the Walls group this morning, man. I was just looking at them like, I remember when these kids was sitting on the couch singing with their mama. Now they growing up doing videos. They got gold teeth on. They look thugged out worldly. Like how you go from wholesome kids learning how to sing, and now you're an adult now. You can make your own decision, and you choose to go be the lowest example of our community. To me, it's the lowest example. I don't care how much money they make, how much they're on TV. It's the lowest, the base of us. Why don't you go back and look at how your great grandparents, go back to Rosewood, go back to Greenwood, go back to how they used to dress, where the suits at, where the beautiful dresses at, where is that? Can you imagine going to Louis Vuitton and all these Chanel and looking at their fashion shows now? Ain't nobody wearing no real clothes.
Nah.
Nobody wearing suits.
It's the skin show.
Listen, if you got a suit on, it might as well be spandex. Your boy walking down with skin tight suits on. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of suit is that, homie? What kind of dress is that, ma'am? Where's the rest of that dress, ma'am?
Oh, that's it. Really?
Nobody's modeling on New York Fashion Week. You don't see no modest clothing.
Mm-mm.
You hear me?
Ain't no more suits, huh? Suit and ties out of there.
And we've allowed it to affect our kids and our family.
Yeah.
Where's the wholesomeness, right? What happened? What happened? A lot happened, right? Let's go to Psalms chapter 27. Psalms 27, verse 10. Psalms chapter 27, verse 10. Go ahead.
When my father and my mother forsake me, then El will take me up.
Okay, wait a minute. Do your children know that even if mom and daddy raised me right, and daddy starts smoking crack and mama start walking street of Vegas,
Oh no.
it doesn't give you kids the green light to be derelicts. It doesn't mean now you got to go be savage and your daughter, she can go be ratchet. My mama do it. My daddy out there thugging, he out there sleeping around and doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? Parents, you supposed to teach your kids, hey, even if I fall off, the Most High got you long as you stay obedient and righteous. Listen to me. If you follow these same principles, you young people got to know that you got a chance to make it and better. If my generation before me was jacked up, it's your responsibility to fix it, not pass on the same dysfunction to your children. Now we got the baby boom, the millennials and the Z, Y and the A. Now they talking about they don't even want to have kids. They don't even want to get married.
That's right.
They don't even like the opposite sex, but you like sex. I'm confused. Wait a minute, you don't even know what sex you are. I'm even more. See how confusing it's getting? Whose fault is it? How do we go from this to what a family unit is supposed to look like to the signs they be putting on our bathrooms now?
Mm-hmm.
I can't make this up. It's a dude on social media, and y'all might have seen the clip. He said, I am a transgender lesbian.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
That's the stuff that had. I mean, just I ain't gonna repeat it for the sake of the young people, but I want y'all to think about how did we get to the point where somebody can get millions of views because he sits up there, changes his hair, start to get body augmentation, and says, I am a other, but as the other, I only like women. It didn't make sense when I said it. You heard what I said. So what was the point of changing
To do the same thing. Come on, man.
I know what he was saying. I'm sick, I'm trans, and I like trans. Sick. You know what I'm saying? But when he say that, it's like the words like marriage don't mean the same thing it meant 40 years ago.
Yeah.
A man and the word woman, they're getting different definitions now.
Yep.
They're changing definitions as the kids leave, and the kids is so focused on the video game, they don't even know the video game is programming them to the new world.
Mm-hmm.
Just the things they see running around and just the artwork, and these people are the programmers.
Yep.
These people are the producers. These people are creating the SpongeBob scenes, the Disney cartoons, the things the kids see in a blink of an eye that they don't know they see that they see. You understand? And when it needs to come about for it to impact them, they don't even know that they've already been watered down. Young people, your family, your mother and father could fall off. They could even be gone. You could be fostered. You could be adopted. But one thing you know when you go back to the scripture, the Most High El, he'll hold you up if you stick to the code. So in conclusion, El Elyon, which means the Most High, has to take you up if your parents sin. He will if you righteous. But you got to understand when you see things breaking apart, oh, mom and dad are separated, mom and dad divorced, and oh, you start finding out what baby mama is, and baby, you start learning all these terms and see it on TV, and you start looking at your life and looking at your life and looking at TV. And once you start reading and comprehending, that's the scary part that parents is missing. Because you're just sending your kid to school and you going to work complaining, but you're not understanding it's a point where that kid comes back home and they looking at you differently. Mm-hmm. Because they done heard something at school, they done saw some program or been taught some sex ed program you ain't knowing about, and they coming back home and they different. But they don't have to be different if you gave them the sound teaching. Mm-hmm. But it's somebody's fault the way our community is now, is it not?
It is.
So let's look at this. How does a mother and father forsake the children? Read that out.
So to forsake as a parent.
You can look at this as obviously I'm a man, so you're gonna look at it I'm gonna teach in them, but hey, vice versa. Mm-hmm. Now, hey, we're in the 24th century now. Women is talking like men now. I mean, they're independent, they don't need anybody. Mm-hmm. These roles could be vice versa. I don't need him and I didn't want him. Okay, so you can flip-flop the roles however it fit. But guess who's gonna feel the brunt of your decision? The next generation.
That's right.
So go start over number one.
Not staying married.
Okay, whose fault is it, and who should be asking for forgiveness that the parents did not stay married? See, y'all like, I'm the parent, the kid don't question me, you don't come, you don't say this, you don't say that. Like, how do you keep that old school mindset, but all the rest of them, you drop them? Whose fault is it? You don't think these kids sit around, the grandkids sit around, seeing their mother, they see TikToks with a great grandma, a grandma, a mama, a kid. You see like 6 generations. You like, where the husbands at? Mm-hmm. These kids don't know it's a problem until it's a problem. He don't know he a sassy boy until somebody tell him, man, hey man, why you acting like that? Why you talk like that? Why you keep rolling your neck? Why you hold your hands like that? Why you got your hand on your hip? He ain't know it wasn't wrong. He had all them sisters. He around all them aunties. Everybody talk that way, but he don't know it's a problem until somebody tell him it's a problem. Hey, mama, you forsake me by not having my daddy around to tell me not to have my hand on my hip. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't be in your closet getting dressed with you. Who cares? I'm a husband, man. My wife said, how you like this? I don't care. You look good in whatever you put on. You're like, what you? Oh, that is so beautiful. I love that lace. I mean, I like the way it just, come on, man. No man sit up and talk like that. You should have your son sitting in there. Oh, Mom, I don't like those shoes. Where the bread? Come on, man. It's just not right.
That's right.
Whose fault is it? Y'all didn't. Go ahead, number 2.
Not being married when you were born out of wedlock.
Okay. You don't think when you talk to these kids, hey man, I'm sorry that you wasn't born in the right situation. You think a single mom gonna say that? You think a single parent gonna say that? Mm-mm. But you don't see these kids looking at you like, hey man, why all these dudes around? Where my father didn't work? Mm-hmm. Why was I born? And what the mom would say, you wasn't a mistake. Why was I even born then that way? And when I could get to understand to hear y'all never got along, y'all don't get along.
Mm-hmm.
These things that affect generations, it didn't just start with the X generation, it started with the baby boomers. It's cascading down. You can't be looking at another family, hey, and trying to have something to say about another family, and your house ain't in order. Number 3.
Not able to co-parent.
Whose fault is it that the child ain't getting love and what they need from either household? She over there worried about him. He's saying he ain't worried about her. But when they start coupling up again, the kid is at fault. The kid is the one feeling the separation and the anger between the two. Go ahead.
Not able to communicate with other parent or schedule
Can't
time.
get the times right. Dad ain't showing up, but the kid don't know dad ain't showing up to the event on time because mom gave him the wrong day and the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the little games that are played between hurt people. You don't think your kids and then the result of your grandkids because your kids is jacked up, you don't think there needs to be some forgiveness? It needs to be some apologies going on? Go ahead.
Not being involved in every day of life in 2 homes.
So in the 2 home, like, hey, dad can't be in everything that go on in the house because I don't stay there no more. And then when I'm at dad's house, you ever heard a kid, it's the worst thing to hear a kid, man, just the houses are just totally different. Y'all just raise us 2 different ways. It's 2 different lifestyles. Like, it's not the kid's fault. And then you X generations is looking at me, right? You 40s and up is looking like, hey, that's how I was raised. And you ain't never thought something was wrong with it. You just love mom. Mom did her best. Mom raised me the best. Mom was mom and dad. Stop it. Mom can't be mom and dad. It's just impossible.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fair. You like, why are you doing a lesson like this? Because it's needed. It's one of the biggest problems in our community, and nobody wants to fess up. And guess what? It's happening to the generations below us.
Mm-hmm.
So you're alive and you got kids repeating your bad habits, and nobody sees nothing wrong with it. Go ahead.
Not attending every event possible, not making time.
Now you got parents not making time. Okay, you going to an event with dad, and dad's side of the family having a cookout. Hey, mom coming? Nah, mom can't make that. Mom side of the family got something going on. Dad coming? Nah, dad ain't invited. That kid sitting there scratching the head. Like, I come from y'all two, but this family cool with me when I'm with them. But when I'm with them, they not cool with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody fool with me. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm out in public. I see my uncle or my cousin. I can't say nothing because I'm over here with mom people. It's like, it's weird. We did that. We did that to these kids.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Not there to nurture you every time you were sick.
You don't think the kids want both parents there every time they sick? They do. They deserve it, and shouldn't nobody be raising and having no kids that can't give them both people when they sick. Not just showing up at the hospital. Well, he said he on his way. She said she around the corner. No. Life could be lost in them seconds. We should be together, same car. Go ahead.
Not there to protect you from predators, out of sight, out of mind.
It's the number one thing. Mom just thinking about her needs, but mom don't know the dude she shacking with is a predator.
Mm.
Stupid TikTok just seen the other day, woman sitting there dancing with her daughter talking about we both divorced the same man. I'm like, what is that?
Come on now.
How in the world you divorce a dude, then your child married the dude you divorced, and then she divorced him, and y'all doing a TikTok dance, celebrate y'all divorcing the same dude.
You divorced your stepdad? Okay.
Is that not a law broken?
Yeah. Two lines
Oh,
crossed.
she married her stepdad. She said, "You're not my real dad." Like, where you get that
Not
kind
my
of
real
mindset? And when did he get so close to her that she felt him that kind of way? When her mama let him in that house.
Mm-hmm.
That's predatory to me. What the heck was she walking around wearing? He my stepdaddy, but he come home before mom, and all of a sudden she come home and she got her little what they call them volleyball shorts on, little tank top, prancing around the house. No morals, no ethic, no code biblically was imprinted in this kind of activity. Especially it wasn't in the mom, because now they both TikToking together about some foolishness. That's the crap that go viral though.
Doing it for the gram.
Mischief goes viral. Go ahead.
Not able to provide you the best quality of life. Resources divided by 2.
Hey, y'all ain't never heard 2 is better than 1. Two incomes better than 1. 2 everything is better than 1. But you say, I don't need him. I got it on my own. Well, why are you taking him to court? Because the quality of life you want to live, it take 2.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to take 75% of something instead of 100 or something and just making it work out. Ain't nobody ever looking at the kid's point of view. I'm saying this thing is happening from generation to generation to generation to generation. What the church is teaching, what they talking about. How is it happening right in your church? How's it happening? The most holiest people sitting there. Leaders of the church. They babies be the one walking in with newborns. You ain't even 21 yet. You can't even live on your own. But this is what providers are supposed to provide. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. And you young men and women shouldn't even be trying to start a family and have any kid. You shouldn't even be trying to have a dog if you can't provide. You got to be able to take him to the vet bill. You got to be able to keep the dog clean.
Ooh. You
got to have food.
Ooh.
The food the dog eat. What? We just got a new puppy. How much was canned food? It was like $3 to $5 a can.
Yeah. Per can.
Per can. And this is talking about from when you wing a puppy to when you can get them on some hard food.
Yeah.
That's a bill.
Man. A bill.
You add all them cans up, like you're not going to the grocery store grabbing a couple cans. You grabbing that whole
tray.
Crate, your whole tray of cans. Do the math. 5, 10, 15, 20, 12, 30,
it's 24. It's 24 the case. You
do the math.
24
times 3, 25 times 4, 24 times 5.
Wee.
And how long them cans gonna last?
A day.
You understand what I'm saying?
One feeding.
Let's 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. Go ahead when you get it.
But if any man provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house. Listen, but if any man provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he had denied the faith and is worse than an infidel.
I got 3 young men on the sound of my voice. I dare one of you to bring a child around me and try to show me a child, and you can't even pay for your own butt to be washed. You can't buy your own, fast food. Like, you can't go get a Whataburger meal for less than $10. You can't feed your own self Whataburger every day of every week. You can't get yourself to work. You don't have your own house. You don't got your own nothing. And you think you can sleep around and bring a baby. I wish you would. I don't want nobody with the MOC to be calling me. I want you to pray over my grandchild. Who the daddy? Where they live? They live with you? Stop it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It's unacceptable. Hey, the buck stops with my foolishness. The buck stops with me. You want to sleep around? You want to have an oops accident? Oops, get out.
Oops. Is that word addition?
We ain't got nowhere to stay. We got to go to a shelter. You should have thought about that when I was reading you the scripture and teaching you when we woke up, when we were sitting around, and when we was going to bed. How often should a saint be teaching and training up a kid? All day. I wish you would. You need to ask my forgiveness for being a fool. Don't be trying to manipulate me and put the baby in my face. Baby's precious. Yeah, your parents is fools. Especially the one that sat up under me. That's what preachers is supposed to be saying. You, and you. I see how you're moving. I see how you're dressing. You about to screw up. Parent looking like, not my kids. I got my kids under control. You ain't got nothing under control.
Nothing at
Social
all.
media got your kid mind. You gonna be taking care of him, your new daughter, and your new grandbaby.
Him, them, and her. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Denied the faith, you are worse.
Than an infidel.
You are worse than an infidel.
Do y'all know what an infidel is? Man.
Now, how many of you saints want me to say that about your kids and your grandkids? Well, then you got to get the house in order. That's how easy we clean up the community.
That's it.
That's how we stop all of these children from being born or these children from being aborted and all these,
Unlawful.
Something going wrong downstairs. I got a rash. I got a leak. What?
What?
How you get that? How you do that? I think it was from wearing my jock strap at practice.
Nah.
I done wore a jock strap for 16 years playing football.
Come on, man.
You ain't get that from wearing no jock strap playing sports.
No, that ain't it. Come again.
We not stupid. And I just think that's what's happening. The young people playing, the A's playing the Z's stupid, the Z's playing the millennials stupid, the millennials think they can talk to their X generation people stupid. X generation is kind of like dingbat, out of sight, out of mind, right? I didn't see it, I didn't hear it, it ain't happening. But behind that door, it's happening.
It's happening.
When you at work, it's happening. Because these millennials think they can just finesse everything. They just slick and cool, full of demons. Let's move on. Luke chapter 11. We need to be asking for forgiveness all across the board. Luke chapter 11 and 11. Luke chapter 11, we're going to start at verse 11. Luke chapter 11, verse 11. Go ahead.
If a son shall ask bread of any of you that is a father, will he give him a stone?
So, parent, your kid's hungry. You know, when the puppy little, let me go run and get this. I need to get the best. Instead of the $4, let me get the $8 can of Purina Ultimate wheat grain salmon fish for my special dog. You know what I'm saying? Let me get my super bag of puppy chow. You know, I need to get the best for my. This how parents be for their children, for their animals.
Yeah.
Your kid coming, they hungry. Are you not gonna feed your kid?
Yeah, you gonna feed him.
Go ahead.
Or if he asks a fish, will he fish? Will he for a fish give him a serpent?
You gonna give him a snake
instead of the
fish?
No, sir. Come on.
A nice largemouth bass fillet.
Mm.
You gonna try to give him a reptile?
Mm-mm.
No, go ahead.
Or if he shall ask an egg, will he offer him a scorpion?
Hey, I got a scorpion for you. I see you see them eggs over there, but I got some crickets. I got some grasshoppers. I got some. You see how the kids react? You're not gonna get that to them, right?
What?
You'll give your kids the best that you can afford.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
If ye then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your heavenly Father give the Ruach Kodesh to them that ask him? Whoa.
It ain't that hard for you to ask the Most High to take care of your kid. Everybody gonna pray, take care of my lover, my son out there. But when you got control, when did you give up control to be free? And see, that's what our generation did. That's what I own.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I gotta ask forgiveness for. That's what I gotta correct. Because I didn't want my kids to grow up as hard as I did.
Same.
And I didn't teach them the hard lessons that they gonna go through as adults now.
Same.
Everybody didn't make that mistake, but I know I made that mistake.
Right.
I should have been harder on them in the lessons of receiving things. Because they know it ain't that easy now. You become an adult. It ain't that easy to get and to live the lifestyle I gave them so freely and easily. Me and the mom together, put two together, man, we made life too easy. And that's the course correction that I can tell the millennials. Just because you got motion and you got that money and you could give these kids anything that they want, these kids should work and receive as if you have nothing.
That's right.
Because the kids like me that turned out okay is because I had nothing and nothing drove me.
That's right.
It made me appreciate every little thing, even to this day.
Come on now.
But to look at a millennial and to look at a Z and look at these kids today that receive things so easily and they haven't worked for it.
Right.
I heard Prime say that these kids is given $1 million before they become, got Heisman's, Jim Thorpe's, before they become and proven they could catch and tackle, they already got a commercial deal. What do you tell somebody that receives and have not earned?
Can't tell them.
See, we read in scripture. I mean, you take care. The scripture's not saying don't take care of your kids.
Right, right.
But we've totally like stopped discipline. They took discipline out of school. Preachers ain't preaching about discipline. They preach about money for the last 40 years. We got caught up in the whole white picket fence and money and getting the bag. Before the word getting the bag, we talking about Creflo, but everybody trying to live that Creflo life.
Everybody
trying to all preach. Everybody moving and people toward finances, wealth, money coming now. Last 40 years. And now you've been blessed. You've been blessing these kids and turn them all into sassies and sensitives and can't tell the young girls nothing. We did it. The X generation's prosperity. And now we looking at these millennials like, what's wrong with these kids? These kids is a result of our failure, giving them everything with no expectation.
Come on now.
That's what's happening. Whether you're in two-parent home, single parent, however the formula, these kids has just been given too easy. Just to turn them loose in the workforce world, and they can't make it because ain't nothing easy.
That's right. Nothing at all. They ain't got that little button that you sit on your desk, hit that. That was easy. Nah. Ain't got that in real life.
2 Corinthians. We got a whole bunch of young people in their generation thinking everybody supposed to be rich, but nobody's a doctor. Nobody want to be a lawyer. Nobody want to be an engineer. Nobody want to build a community. Nobody want to do the work. Now everybody wants to be an influencer. So now we see with the millennials and younger, everybody wants to be intellectual. Everybody wants to show their talents and skills without any talents and skills. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You have no monetary talent and skill that produces any other revenue except through entertainment. So if they shut down social media,
they ain't gonna know how to survive.
Bro, AT&T goes out. So if AT&T goes out, you don't have your phone. So how you gonna do your TikTok? How you gonna upload your Instagram, your Twitter? How you gonna get on Twitch and play your video game when you've been making your money gambling?
Be sick.
You don't have no talent and skill to go out here and feed yourself.
No trade, huh?
No trade. 2 Corinthians 12:14. Go ahead.
Behold, the third time I am ready to come, and I will not be burdensome to you. For I seek not yours, but you. For the children ought not to lay up for the parents, but the parents for the children.
Man, what's going on? Our generation is the number one culprit to this.
That's right.
We failed in raising them, But somehow these single parent babies have become the basketball players.
Yeah.
They become the influencers on TikTok and social media. They become the basketball players. They become the famous players, the superstars.
Yeah.
They the rappers.
Like it's okay.
It's okay now. It's okay to be a single mom. But you know why? Because my son bought me a mansion. My son bought me a Cadillac.
Mm-hmm.
But your son took that advance. That was a loan.
He got to do what with it?
You got to pay it back.
Come on now. By any means
So
necessary.
now these young kids I got to take care of my mama. You know, Coach Prime got all these dudes up there believing they all going to the NFL when only 3 or 4 of them out of that whole 100 going to go to the NFL and make money to take care of mama. It is a pipe dream that now all of these young kids, because, hey, they don't fool with daddies. You don't see that many daddies up there around these programs. But you see all these young men believing the dream that they can all be rappers, the dream they can all be football players and entertainers. Now everybody, I want to start a blog. I want to do what Cashapp. I want to be like Aiden Ross. I just want to get on TV and do stupid stuff. I just want to sit on there and talk to people. Bring special guests on. I can be an influencer. You think it's that easy?
No. Telling you. Slim pickings, ain't it, Doc?
Now these parents is raising their kids, and my kid gonna take care of me one day. Your children are not to lay up for their parents, but the parents for the children. This is how we screwing up.
That's it.
We grew up, our parents was working in the factories, and then they started shutting down. Our parents had good jobs, middle-class jobs. They took away them jobs, the family started breaking up, and X generation, we was fumbling around trying to figure it out, and some of us made it, some of us didn't. But now we got these millennials and everybody coming thinking they're going to do it better than everybody. And guess who the corporation is giving the money to? These young fools.
Mm-hmm.
We not saying nothing. We didn't raise them right. Now they giving the money to these millennials and these Gen Zs to do nothing. And guess what they're going to turn around and do? I don't need you, mama. I don't need y'all. I take care of y'all. I pay y'all bills. Wait a minute. You wouldn't even be here without me. Doesn't matter. You wouldn't be living the way you live.
I brought this house.
Man, don't give me nothing. You hear me? But that ain't what parents are saying.
They want it all.
Especially single mothers, especially these fathers that's popping up out of nowhere. You ain't been around your whole life, and now you showing up and you want to be at the ESPYs. You want to be at the 49er game in the Super Bowl. You want to go, you know what I'm saying? Hall of Fame inductee. Hey, come on, man. A lot of forgiveness, man. These kids with resentment, man. Kurt Franklin daddy lived down the street from him.
His whole life.
Same city.
Two
down
blocks.
the street. Mama knew who he was, man, and denied even to today. Dude looked just like him.
Man.
No, the man that just died, the man you've always known, that was your dad. Man, daddy lived right down the road.
2 blocks, man.
Probably going to same grocery stores, same churches, same dentists, same doctors. Down the road,
That's crazy, man. Pops.
Man, 50-something years old meeting his daddy for the first time. You don't tell me that was intentional hatred?
Yeah. Passed down to the kid.
He didn't even know why he was dysfunctional.
Didn't know. Come on, man.
Forgive us this day is what the baby boomers need to be telling the X generation, and the X's need to be telling these millennials, forgive us. I know the parents might be like, they need to ask me. No. We made a mistake. The baby boomers couldn't stop it. And we know we start naming all the excuses and the things that was done to the community, but we seem to have done well in the X generation. But was it too late? And was it at the cost of our babies?
Yeah.
Now they're attacking our babies.
Mhm.
Now they saying we too old and they want to go give jobs to our babies that don't know nothing. They don't know what we know. Ain't that crazy? Like a company, you've been here 20 years, they'll let you go and bring in somebody that don't know nothing and expect them to do your job for 20 years. You know the ins and outs of every program up and down and every which way this company work. They'll bring in somebody that don't know nothing, expect you to train them.
And then where you at?
And then you fired.
Out of there. Train your replacement.
They know how to do it when it comes to them making money.
Yeah.
But when it comes to saving families, nobody got answers. I'm giving you the answers right now. It's the code, it's the book. But if you got your baby sitting up watching reality TV with you, no, sir. Yep. Baby ain't gonna stand a chance. So parents are supposed to provide security in what ways?
Financially.
So you shouldn't have no children unless you can provide financially. Go ahead.
Health.
You got to be able to, you can't be trying to go in the marketplace and get Obamacare. You're supposed to have great insurance through your job. You're supposed to have a job, provide insurance for your family, right? Go ahead.
Spiritual.
Spiritually. Pick something. Don't be walking around talking about we just believe in a creator and you don't got no principle. You just making up stuff as you go. A real parent, man, you're gonna find some kind of religion, some kind of guiding light for your parents. And I mean your family, but I don't see nothing better than the Torah. It ain't much better, nothing better than the Torah out there.
Mm-hmm.
It worked if we worked it.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Intellectual.
The parents supposed to be involved in the PTA. They're supposed to be involved in this kid's education. I be going through, man. I be looking whatever my daughter going through. Hey, man, I approve. That ain't right. You got to learn it. You got to pass the test. But I be like, you ain't going to need it. Just go and learn it, pass the test. But this is really what happened. This is really our history. This is really what this is. This is the math. See, man, hey, she ain't going to know nothing. She going to know math. She going to know math. She going to know the basics of science, but we're not going to go too crazy. Social studies and history, oh, yeah. We're going to be proficient.
In there.
We're going to be in there on those things.
Right.
You understand? But does she need to know the artwork of dissecting frogs? No. You don't ever dissect a frog in your life.
Ever, Joe.
You need to know grammar. You need to put a sentence together. Yes.
Yes.
You need to know how to read articulately with speed. Yes.
How to add, subtract.
You need to know some word problems. Oh, yeah, we all in them word problems. It's going to follow you your whole life.
Yeah.
You're going to get a little bit of information and you're going to have to figure out what's missing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, we're going to be all into that. Intellectual. Both sides of the family. You know what I'm saying? It just got to be the goal. You got to be intellectual. You got to be smart. Go ahead.
Physical.
Her physical well-being, the health, mental state. You got to be involved in that, parents. Go ahead.
Emotional.
Yeah, emotionally. What do you think happened when you divorce?
Mental distress.
Oh, they're going to be all right. Many people have divorced. Man, do you see our community? I'm going to show you some stats here in a minute now. I don't care what race you are. Do you see what happens to the children when parents get divorced? I mean, what's the success rate of born out of wedlock?
Not too good.
It's not too good. Who
Suicide.
community does that impact the most?
Ours.
Okay. What else?
Shelter.
Parents supposed to provide shelter. We shouldn't have to be arguing about shelter. The idea is to have them in one shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Me, you, and them. Me, you, and these kids, one shelter. Now we can't get along. Now we paying for two shelters. Everybody angry all the time. Why? Because we split our resources in two. Trying to live the same way we lived as one.
Come on, man.
And if you ain't never lived as one,
help you.
what's the last one?
Conjugal.
Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to be raising your kids to a certain way. They should see mother and father together, not man and woman like any man you want to be with or any woman dad want to date. It's messing with the kids' mental. You're supposed to be protecting that.
Mm-hmm.
But now these kids growing up seeing this and that, like how many boyfriends and how many fiancés you gonna have? Your kid sees all of them, and just because you think you're doing right, it's messing with these kids. It's messing with their understanding of conjugal and how it should be. Just look at the millennials on down. They don't know what's what.
Mm-mm.
And they mama's standing right there. I just love them regardless. Ma'am, your son got pink hair, he got nail polish, wearing your clothes. You don't think something wrong with the mental state of this? How you get like that? Who'd you have around him? What is it? Who raised him? Oh, she raised him like that. He was her doll, and he played dress up with her. You're looking at your kid like, man, something ain't right. You ain't right. We're supposed to protect the same. How do you think be fruitful and multiply work? Opposite sex, males raising the male, females raising the females to be wives, husbands. If they don't conjugal, there's no fruitful and multiply.
No, sir.
It just don't work. So when you break up the plan of the Most High, what do you think happens? Extinction happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's keep going. So these are the things parents are supposed to provide, right? So let's look at this. Look at some of these stats. I think this comes from 2018. Now look at this. This is a heterosexual relationship with two parents. Go ahead, Art.
When we often think about privilege in terms of the access to education, income, and good neighborhoods that some children benefit from and others do not.
Why is it a privilege? Should that not be the standard?
Should be the norm.
I'm talking about the whole United States, like all races. Why is it now a privilege to have a good education, good income, and live in a good neighborhood? Why is it a privilege instead of the norm? So if it's a privilege now, that means some have it, some don't. Who you think don't have it the most? Okay, go ahead, Art.
But there is another form of privilege that is often overlooked in contemporary debates.
Big time overlooked, especially in the so-called African-American community. Go ahead, Art.
About children's welfare and futures. That of growing up in a stable two-parent family, loving and being loved by one's two parents.
Stop. Had to highlight it, Art. You young men growing up, you young ladies, listen to this. It is a privilege. Listen, it's not normal anymore to grow up in a loving two-parent home. So what's the big deal? Nobody's really getting married now. And they also are not receiving a good education. They're not growing up with incomes that allow them to do more things as a family. And they also don't grow up in good neighborhoods. Why is our community always talking about getting out the hood instead of enjoying growing? When I was when I was back in my hometown, man, we enjoyed it. I love it. I love growing up in the community. All the friends, all the parents and old people, everybody, man. Korean family down there making wontons. Got my boy Ace and them. Everybody sharing food. All the kids is eating. Everybody going into everybody's house. It ain't happening like that no more.
Nah.
It's just something to have in a community where everybody is affluent. It raises a certain type of person. Go ahead.
Who are also committed to one another and to the integrity of their family.
You hear this? This is coming from the secular world. You don't even hear this in the church no more. Loving two-parent homes, committed to one another, and the integrity of the family. Come on, man. We got all these Black Lives Matter activists out here. We got people pushing families that ain't families no more. Hey, every reality TV show you watch, housewives of this, they ain't married to nobody.
Nope.
You have never noticed why the housewives, it's more couples and less actual marriages? And the people that are married are what? Baby boomers. They 55 and up. Everybody that's young is getting divorced and dating. Go ahead.
We know that children who grow up in such a stable married family are more likely to flourish educationally, socially, and economically.
This is why, young people, this is why your parents and grandparents need to be asking for your forgiveness. Because they are a direct result of how you grew up. And your struggle to flourish educationally, socially, and economically. Listen, young people, as you become young men and young adults, the children and the relationships you get in are going to directly reflect the next generation. How? Educationally, socially, economically. If you have social anxiety and you have social issues where you can't communicate, I don't like speaking in front of people, I don't like being around a whole bunch of people, you got to change that in your children.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. That happens because you're not growing up around a community and around in a community center, YMCA, older men, older people walking around you can glean knowledge from, just talking. Ain't nobody outside no more. Now the only people that say they outside is who? She Ratchets and him downstairs and the thugs.
You know it.
Old people can't even come outside on their stoop no more.
Nope.
When I was growing up, they used to be out there on their stoop, giving you ice pop, candy, shit. What you doing, young man? Checking on you. Bring your report card. Bring you them A's. I got something for you. This is what's the important thing now. Everybody thinking they kid, if they kid all right, well, I can't. I don't know what happened to the rest of them, you know. I don't know what happened to the rest of the basketball team. My kid did all right. He at least got a college education. Everybody is just accepting instead of it being normal for our community and our people to succeed, right? So let's look at this. Let's look at co-parenting. Let's see how it works out with co-parenting and what co-parenting is. Let's see if are we doing this successfully? Did the baby boomers do it? Did the Gen X's? Go ahead, Art.
Co-parenting is a form of parenting relationship in which the two parents are not involved romantically with each other, but assume the joint responsibility of the child. It can be described as any two people jointly raising a kid, irrespective of whether or not they are biological parents.
Is that what we see today?
No.
That is what we see today.
I'm sorry. Yes.
That's what we see. The blended families, the same-sex families, the real parent. Look, it's like you don't have to be the biological parents.
Right.
That's why they could just go to the county and adopt, and they can go down to the sperm donor and get a kid and inseminate it. Everybody think that's co-parenting. That ain't real parenting. We can't even get the real parents to stay together. Now you got this big whole category of co-parenting. Who to blame? Let's look at these single parents because they think they got it all figured out, right? Single parenting, go ahead.
Single parenting causes children to assume the responsibility of providing emotional support to parents.
Stop. What did we just read up there what was the role of the parents?
To lay up for their kids.
To provide emotional protection for their children. Did y'all know that psychologically in single parent homes, now that's why these boys be growing up thinking they the daddy.
Yeah.
These kids are now taking on the emotional support of the parents. Now mama sad, I'm sad.
Yeah.
These parents just come home, dad upset, I'm upset. Dad upset, mama upset. The kids is emotionally upset. The kids start to think that they can fix. They can fix it. Mom and daddy done moved on. Mama got a new husband. Daddy got a new wife. And the kids still thinking they can fix emotionally what's broken between their biological parents.
Mm-hmm.
And are you a single parent if you move on and remarry? Well, why do women still talk like they single parents?
Because of
you got a man living in your house. You got
from the situation before.
They still hurt.
Yeah.
So
they haven't forgiven.
So hurt people, and it affects continued generations.
That's right.
All right, go ahead.
It can be challenging for kids to adjust to different lifestyles of both parents.
Whoa.
That's true.
Whose fault is that? That a kid got to adjust to the different lifestyle. Mom on Section 8, she living in the good. Dad got a single family, or he got an apartment. He on the other side, she on the east side of town, west side of town. Kids, different schools, what school I'm going to, right? Like all that. Who fault is a kid that has to adjust to that? Go ahead.
As such, they tend to pick favorites later on, depending upon how much they are able to adjust to each parent's life.
Y'all didn't know that? The kids is already assuming emotional support for the weaker parent or the parent that seems like they're not doing the best. So now they starting to pick favorites. Who you think they're going to pick? So mom over here, I'm independent, I'm single, I can do what I want to do, I don't need you. But then over with the kids, she playing Saw Betty. She playing victim with the kid because emotionally, hey, you going to grow up to take care of mama, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, mama, you gonna go get mama a mansion, right? Mm-hmm. I want to take care of you, mama, always.
You gonna buy mama that Benz, ain't you?
Super protective. They play these emotional games with the kids they can't do to the man they lay down and made the kid with. I can't control him, I'm gonna control this kid. Go ahead.
Coordinating schedules between two households can be challenging. Juggling child rearing, work events, sports, etc.
That's the hardest thing right there. You separate the home. Now you're trying to juggle, especially child rearing, right? So the mom want to take. Here's how I normally hear it, right? And it just could be from a male's perspective. If the kid grows up to be horrible, it's daddy's fault. He wasn't there. He wasn't around. But if the kid grows up to be good, mom say, I raised him. Negro, you wasn't even around. Ain't that crazy? Go ahead.
Some conflicting views may also arise between parents, which makes it difficult for kids to cope. Such disputes surrounding major life decisions may often lead to choice-making situations for kids and could potentially traumatize them.
See, she want to go off to camp. They're like, well, hey, stay with me anyway. I'm gonna let her go off to that camp. She goes off to the camp. Something happened to her. Now mom look at her. I said, I told you not to send her to the stupid camp. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Like these life-changing things, they could be better off decided in the home, right? It's a hierarchy. You know what I'm saying? Quit all this submission and a controller. Listen, somebody got to lead. Mm-hmm. You understand? If we have been too liberal with the children, we've raised liberal children, the millennials. What you think gonna happen with their kids? Same. Look at their kids. The kids have no boundaries now.
No respect.
These gonna be our grandchildren with no boundaries, cultural lifestyle that we have given to our children. Now let's look at these stats, right? Look at this table, right? This table is produced by the Institute of Family Studies, right? Back in 2018. This is how many of today's young people experience a stable family structure throughout childhood. Look at this chart. What jumps out at you?
Birth mom only.
Look at it.
Married birth parents.
Look, today, this is all races. 50% of households have both parents. So when you're looking at family units moving around, you're going to see 50% of them have both parents, right? What's the next largest category?
Birth mom only.
23% of young people today, all races, 23% are being raised by just a single parent. What did that say about single parents? These kids going to grow up traumatic, emotionally supporting the single mom.
Unable to cope.
They're not going to be able to cope well. 23% of kids in school today or walking around today are raised by single mothers. What's the next largest?
Birth and step parent.
Birth and a step parent. So here's the categories. 50% of families have both biological parents raising them. 50% of households. The second largest, 23%, the kids is just being raised by their mama. The third category, 11%, has a birth parent and a step parent. Who do you think is the birth parent?
The mama.
If the mama is already by herself raising 23%, more than likely she's getting remarried to a man at 11%. That's the third category. Because do we see a lot of men with custody of their baby remarried to a woman? Mm-mm. No. 11% is being raised by a birth mother I'm saying it, and a step parent. The next category is 6%. Who knew that? 6% of kids you see today are being raised by the daddy only.
Wow.
The birth dad only.
Wow.
Them are your top four categories. Man, take note. Same article. The more education a woman or man has, the more likely she or he is to get married and stay married when raising children. Listen to me, young people. Why are we harping on being married, staying to the code, keeping yourself a virgin till you with that woman, knowing that that's the woman you're going to raise a kid with? Why? Socially, economically, right? Financially, all that is included in having a stable child to be raised, right? If you ain't happy with the way you was raised, make sure you raise them the right way.
This is how you break them off.
This is why parents say get an education.
Right.
Look at these stats.
Man,
look at these stats.
High school education.
College graduates or more are 64% likely to raise their kid their whole life, all the way through 18 years old. 2 educated parents with college degrees are more likely to stay together and raise their children. Now look as we go backwards. 41% if a parent has just a high school graduate, 41% likely that they would raise their kids together. Now, if you don't even, now people that are having children that didn't finish high school are only 20% likely to stay together and raise their children.
Mm-hmm.
This is all races now. Now watch this next slide. To understand that, I pray y'all did, right? Now look at this next stats. Growing up with both parents throughout one's childhood is more common among some racial and ethnic groups in the U.S. than among others. Sisters and brothers, look at this chart. Look at this. Asians are more likely to raise, or 67% likely to be husband and wife, biological parents, raise their children throughout their whole life. White families are 58% likely to have husband and wives together. So when you see white and Asian families, they are more likely to be married husband and wife raising their children. Mm-hmm. Hispanic families are 45% likely to be husband and wife raising their child throughout their life. Look at this. So-called black families. 22% likely biological husband, biological wife staying together. Mm. Why are we so low? And then look at the biracial. The multiracial families are higher. So multiracial families are more 35% likely to stay together and raise their children till they're 18. But look at the lowest demographic. That means you. That's us, Marco. Our people.
Our people.
Our people that just can't get right. So what's the opposite of that? 82. No, that's too high. 78. We are 78% likely not to raise our children in a 2-parent home.
That's sad.
I would say that number's been growing since 2018. Would you?
Absolutely.
All right, let's keep going. So the iniquity unchecked. Iniquity unchecked. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 18. So we start talking about forgiveness, and you start talking about who fault it was. Like, you young people can't be blaming your parents, you know, mom being in jail, mom living, you heard your mom live some kind of crazy lifestyle. That ain't the reason why you live in a crazy lifestyle. You living a crazy lifestyle because you made an intentional choice not to be obedient. Ezekiel 18 verse 20. What that say?
The soul that sinneth, it shall die.
Uh-huh.
The son shall not bear the iniquity of the father, neither shall the father bear the iniquity of the son. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him.
Hey, listen to me, young people. Listen to me, all generations. If you are wicked and you commit sin, you will be put to death because of your sin. You will pay for your iniquity and your sin. Young people, you can't go around and blame your parents or your grandparents because they sin.
That's right.
You baby boomers, you X generations, all you people that got children now, you can't look at them and say, hey, that's generational curses. That's not a generational curse. That's you not doing your job.
Mm-hmm.
That's you not training up them children according to the Most High standards. But the sin that you committing, the adultery, the lying, the stealing, the murder, whatever you're doing, your kids are not going to be punished because of what they did. They're going to be punished because of what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If they repeat the same thing, then hey, right? They talking about like Prime is being a mentor for young Dolph's son, right? And King Von, he got a son coming up, Little Von. Now, if they don't teach Lil Von any different, if they don't use the money that his dad, however he got his money, if they don't use that to course correct Lil Von's life, Lil Von can end up perishing just like his father.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't teach young Dolph's son anything different than the street code, his dad, and they let him sit there and just watch his dad's video and his music, he's gonna grow up and repeat the same kind of lifestyle, which is scary. It's sad that the training that young people get, it determines their ability to be obedient to the law, statute, and commandments. If they've never heard of the law, statute, and commandments, how could they clearly be obedient to something they didn't know about? That's how we have our community and our generation so screwed up right now.
Mm-hmm. The
baby boomers just trying to be so holy, trying to be super grandparents. Then the X generation came, and now they holy and they more spiritual than the baby boomers. Now the millennials is coming along, and it's just a repeated cycle of everybody trying to be holy but missing the mark. Forgive us this day for not inspecting what we expect,
mm-hmm.
and not ensuring that our children knew the will of the Most High and how to be pleasing in His sight. So we have to answer for our sins, but the chances of the children committing or living in sin dramatically increases because of the sins of the parents. You don't answer for your parents' sins, but your propensity to repeat the lifestyle of your parents increases, especially if they're not together teaching you any better.
Right.
The divide of the mother and father causes the drama, which makes kids pick a favorite, and now they are emotionally trying to support parents instead of being supported by parents. Parents are just walking around, single parents and co-parents walking around in delusion like they're doing what's best for the kid, but they're not really asking the kid opinion, and they're not really guiding the kids according to any scripture. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 29 and 15. Like I said in the beginning, this is not the lesson for you to feel some kind of way. It's the time to reflect and see where you need to course correct, especially if it's too late for your kids. Man, you need to be looking at these grandkids and say, hey, son, hey, daughter, I'm going to help you. Let's ensure that our grandkid turns out better. lest you keep a third generation of iniquity going, right? Proverbs 29, verse 15. Go ahead.
The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself bringing his mother to shame.
Did y'all not see the turn when they took corporal punishment out of school? These kids today laugh and be like, man, I wouldn't do this and wouldn't nobody touch me. Listen, if you grew up in that time period, you wouldn't say that. There was no kids taking their parents to court. There was no such thing as abuse for punishing your child. Listen, you was getting paddled by the principal and your parent was spanking you in the same office. You knew that you did not want to get in trouble. If it didn't embarrass you by taking your desk and putting it in the hallway, if that wasn't enough for you to be embarrassed when the bell rang, then you was going to have to, you remember I said it, you had to increase the level of punishment to stop and course correct the kids from going crazy. That's now right. We got videos, kids fighting their teachers, kids joning on the teachers, kids doing things that's unheard of, the disrespect just between adults. So if you're doing that to an adult, I guarantee you're doing it to one of your parents. You're probably doing it to your grandparent, right? So the rod and reproof. You see what I'm saying? You get to the rod, that's because the kid didn't listen to the instruction. You didn't listen to the correction. That's how we got to the rod, right? Mm-hmm. That's wisdom, right? So, and it brings the child. So without the rod, that's why we see a lot of what I say though. Mothers ain't really ashamed when their kids screw up. They're gonna stand in court. I got my kids back. Ma'am, she's 9 years old. She had a child. That's still my baby and my grandbaby. I guess we just got to do what we gonna do. All you're gonna do is teach her the child support system. That's it. You're not gonna help her really raise that because you still out in the clubs, you still out in the juke joint, you still trying to get with you a man. You know, you ain't trying to be there to raise that kid with her. Y'all just swapping babysit. She go in the club, you go in the club, or y'all going to the club together. That rod and reproof is supposed to bring wisdom. But like I told you, women will take credit when the kids succeed, but they're not going to take the shame and the blame when the kid fails, right? Mm-hmm. Let's look at it in the New International Version. What did it say?
A rod and a reprimand.
So you don't think the Congress and whoever passed the bill federally to remove it out of all school, you don't think they knew what the scripture said? You don't think that they knew when they took out prayer and reading and corporal punishment, they knew that the kids and the generations was going to be screwed up. And not only did they take it out of schools, now they made it where you can't correct them at home. Huh? They say, hey, kid, you don't like being corrected at home? Take your parents to court. Mm-hmm. You can divorce your parent and do what? And go where? With who? Who gonna raise me? What? A rod and reprimand impart wisdom. Because you gotta learn that this is a mistake I just can't keep making. I am not trying to come in and get my butt paddled. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to get whooped by dad, right? And then you gotta go see mama. When you got a family unit, you got to see everybody touching you. That's just stuff. Hey, you come back to school the next day, they like, ooh, we know you got it. And then everybody start passing around stories. Oh, my parents would have told me. Now kids ain't talking about that no more. Now I wish you would. I got that ratchet. I got that tool. I got that. Now all the kids is just gangsters and killers. A rod and a reprimand impart wisdom. Go ahead.
But a child left undisciplined disgraces his mother.
These kids going off on World Star, are they really a disgrace to their mother? What does it say in the New Living Translation?
It says to discipline a child produces wisdom.
To do what?
To discipline a child produces wisdom.
How do you think discipline works when you start breaking down the family unit? From two-parent, biological, to co-parent, to single parent. You see the stats? Who community does it hurt the worst? Who kids get hurt the worst? I can show you this stuff now, show you to you with scripture, but it's gonna go in one ear and out the other, man. We got to ask forgiveness for not being adherents to what we clearly can read. Everybody talking about I raise my family where I want. We, each household to his own. How is that working for the overall community? Just because you want to keep secret the dysfunction in your family, now everybody need to worry about their own household. Until your son start creeping around my daughter, though. Now we got a problem. Me and you got a problem now. Huh? And we not going to forget it because me and you go out here and tussle.
Mm-hmm.
So your son can understand, like, this ain't what it is. I'm going to send you home lumped up so he know what's going to happen. He keep creeping around my back door. That's how it went. You know what I'm saying? So to discipline a child produces wisdom, but a mother is
disgraced by an undisciplined child.
Nah, ain't nobody. These women is crying at funerals. They is standing at the court. Free my son. Your son's a criminal. Your son does bad things. He should go to jail. If my son does bad things, guess what? He should go to jail. If he not fit to be out here, he need to be in there. They gonna get him some get right. They gonna get him some get right. Young women too now. Young women trying to fight men. Hey, these young girls is out of control right now. You can't tell them, hey, young lady, hey, stop that cursing, stop that. F you, who you ain't my dad. I can't correct your daughter because you can't correct your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Back when I grew up, you understood correction. You ain't gonna speak back to that adult because if that adult tell my daddy and my mama, they finna tear me up. You can't tear kids up no more. The kids don't have no shame. Who fault is it? Don't pass the buck now. Proverbs 17, verse 25. Go ahead.
A foolish son is a grief to his father.
He's a what?
A grief to his father.
And you do not want to raise kids that do not adhere to you, do not adhere to the Most High. I mean, everything. He's going to be trying to look at guidance and look up to people that don't look like you, that don't have his best intentions for him. That's what's happening. That's why these kids are all in these gangs. That's why everybody is joining and clubbing up, because men ain't out here raising their young men to stand on their own. You only join groups and clubs when you can't stand on your own and be your own man. You worried about what everybody say instead of knowing my daddy gave me the confidence to be my own man. So when is a son a grief to his father? Go ahead.
So like, all right, I already switched over.
Got to wake up, Ot. Go ahead.
A foolish son is a grief to his father and bitterness to her that bear him.
When they don't follow the training that the parents raised them. And I'm not saying co-parents and single parents can't raise them and train them up, but man, it don't stick. Because my daddy's still out there thugging and bugging. So when you send me over there, I get the thug and bug, right? My mama still, she ratchet. So when I go over there, mom and them talking and doing, watching soap operas and clowning and kikiing. And I don't want to be my daddy's house. He too strict. I go with my mama and she don't be on me like that. Yeah, she ain't no man. She didn't raise you to be a man. She raised you to be soft and sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? She knew when you started getting bigger than her. Listen, can't put your hands on me. So she did everything in her power to punk you and to let you know you better never raise your hand to her, because she already know if you hit her, you're going to hurt her. So she made you to be soft. You go over to your daddy's. Now you want to stand up to him, but you want to curtail to your mama. That's how most of these young people raised right now. Soft, sensitive. They'll humble down to a woman. Man try to correct them. They won't take no correction from no man. But they not on code. They not on code to be no man. This is not how society works. You get away from your parents and you get around other men, they're gonna quickly let you know, hey man, this ain't gonna end well. It's just the way men talk and the way they carry themselves, man. Hey, we're gonna have to go outside. We're gonna have to shoot that fade. But they don't shoot fades no more, do you? They shoot bullets now. Because everybody is sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And they know when they get locked up, guess who's gonna come? Mama. Mama gonna come and see your daddy failed you. No, he didn't fail you because you raised him. You raised him that way around you. So what can't we do? We can't let iniquity bound. We got to reinstill family values back in our households. We got to ask for forgiveness this day, and we got to course correct, parents. Ephesians chapter 6:4. Go ahead.
And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath,
Right.
but bring them up in the nurture and admission of El.
Hey, the biggest way to provoke your kids is not to be there. It's to not to be around. They can hate you in there when you're around. They can hate the way you discipline. They can hate the way you don't let them do certain things. You keep them from getting into trouble. But when they get older, they're gonna love you because you kept them out of harm's way. Your goal was to love them and keep them out of trouble. Yeah, they have the liberty that the other kids did, but look how the other kids turned out. Huh? How many of them other kids is sitting there, single parents, got baby mamas, and then a whole world of drama? The whole goal is to not have you repeat the mistakes that father makes, right? But a father, if you're a deadbeat, if you didn't ever want to be around and you didn't ever want to be in that kid's life, now you just created a whole nother monster in another generation. He's still angry, talking about, I ain't gonna raise my kid like my daddy raised me, but it's still full of anger there. You understand? And then when dad get himself together, you don't even want to forgive him to let him be around his grandkid. You still holding on to something that happened before you was even born. You remember it take two to tango. Mom said he didn't want to be around, but what if he did? Like Kirk Franklin, I didn't even know he was my son. How you know your daddy even knew you was born? She telling you the whole narrative. She telling the story. He come around, I didn't even know you was born, son. I didn't even know you was mine. You did this DNA thing, and then I did this thing, and then it matches together. That's how I even found out. But when I wanted to come see you, your mama didn't want me to see you. You 25 years old. You know what I'm saying? Just crazy stuff like that. Like, I know I made a mistake, but hey, even though we can fix it now, you don't even want to fix it now that the kid is an adult. We're supposed to bring and nurture the kid up to love El, not to hate his commandments. It's going to keep you right. It's going to help you fix the generations. Everybody get to watch this lesson, man. They have an opportunity to fix their house, their loved ones, and their community, lest we just keep on repeating the same thing. So our young people lost the light. The baby boomers didn't give us the light. X generation, we didn't know we was missing it. And now the millennials is like, oh, I was supposed to have a light. Now I'm mad at y'all old school because y'all didn't give me the knowledge and understanding I should have had, right? Proverbs 22:6. Proverbs 22:6. Proverbs 22, verse 6. Go ahead when you get it.
Train up a child in the way he should go.
Right? Everybody know this scripture. Go ahead.
And when he is old, he will not depart from it.
So if these kids don't even have an opportunity to learn how to have admonition and understand, to be warned of the Most High, be warned of his punishments, be warned of the stats, the education that won't happen, the income, the lifestyle that is impacted by not being educated. Being educated goes into knowing you should be married and knowing what will happen to your kids if you have kids outside of marriage. Just having all that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that's missing, right? So if they never get it, who should be asking for forgiveness? Who should be apologizing? The parents should be, but everybody passing the blame. These kids just out of control. It's somebody's fault. These kids just won't listen. It's somebody's fault they won't listen. I don't care what law was passed. If we were still in a community like we was on the other side of the railroad tracks, you can't tell us we couldn't punish our kids. We would have our own form of punishment. It's communities right now, they got their own police, they got their own way of doing things, and they don't care what the government say. You ain't coming in there taking nobody's children.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And these kids is loyal to their faith and their people. We ain't. And when the kids is older, the training come back to them. They remember what Raah said. They remember what Dad said. They remember what Mom said because Mom and Dad kept saying it. You had them around a teacher that kept warning them and letting them know, man, hey, there's a mistake and then there's an intentional screw up. Don't be no intentional screw up. How's it a mistake and you knew better anyway? Brakatha. Give us this day. Matthew 5:16. Let me hurry up. I'm losing my reader. Matthew 5. Matthew chapter 5. How we doing on time? Matthew 5:16. 11. Go ahead, Art.
Let your light so shine before men
Uh-huh.
that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
So the baby boomers supposed to give it to the X to the millennial. But what if we didn't get the light? How are we going to shine before men? Are our children shining now? I'm talking about as a community of people, 40 million indigenous people here. Our kids shining right now. I'm not talking about sports and athletics and things that don't mean nothing, right? They self-imploding with all that money and fame and wealth anyway. Our kids ain't shining right now, huh? Let's see why they not shining. Psalms chapter 119. Psalms 119 and 105. Psalms 119, 105. Let's see if we can pick up the speed, get these precepts in. 119, 105. Go ahead.
Thy word is a lamp unto my feet
Uh-huh.
and a light unto my path.
Right. So the word is the lamp. It's the light. So we're not putting the word in our kids, baby boomers. You understand? And I'm talking about as a whole. I'm not talking about the pocket of people that got the word, that got the lamp. They not representing us as a whole, are they? That ain't who the young people is following, right? Proverbs 6:23. That's not who they publicizing. And that's not who they marketing. That's not who own the commercials. That's not who own the movies. Proverbs 6:3. Go ahead.
For the commandment is a lamp,
Uh-huh.
and the law is light,
Right.
and reproofs of instruction are the ways of life.
Yeah. These young people ain't getting no reproof. These young people ain't trying to be disciplined. They don't have the commandments in them. They don't have the word in them to be checked. They don't have the boundary. Who fault is it? Who need to be asking for forgiveness? You hear me? That's the problem. That's what's going on. This is the kind of lesson that need to go viral. But guess what? It won't pick up the algorithm. Proverbs 20:20. Go ahead when you get it, huh?
Whoso curses his father
Uh-huh.
or his mother,
Yeah.
his lamp shall be put out
Whoa.
in obscure darkness.
So did we curse our parents as X generation? Did the X generation, the baby boomers, did the baby boomers curse their parents? Are the millennials cursing their parents? Y'all screwed up. Y'all had me out of wedlock. Dad was locked up. Y'all shouldn't have brought me in this world. Listen, you here. I didn't grow up with my parents. It's no fault of mine, but I can't hold them in contempt. I had to forgive them to even move on and to be a sane adult. I can't say that for all my siblings. Because that trauma, it carries if you don't forgive them for what? It wasn't their choices to leave us and leave the earth. But if you're not able to even forgive those that ain't here, how are you going to be functional for the children you have?
Mm-hmm.
How we functional? Because we got the lamp in us and we got the light. We got the one good thing that our parents tried to leave us to share with our children. It's the only thing we can give them that matters to move on and be functional. But if we was to curse our parents, I can't believe you wasn't here. I can't believe you died on me. I can't believe you was locked up. I can't believe you were so selfish to commit that crime. I can't believe you was sleeping. I can't believe you got kids all over the place. For whatever reason, you're holding anger in your heart. How you expect the Heavenly Father to forgive you? You can't forgive them. But you walk around, shalom, shalom. What's up, Ak? What's up, Akwaf? All praise to the Most High. full of evil in your heart.
Mhm.
You ain't let it go, right? And let's move on. I know I can't remember how many precepts I got, but it's probably too many. But let's see. Yeah, let's go to I think it's Hebrews. I ain't even get to my stories, did I? Okay, here goes a story right here. We're not gonna be able to read that whole story. Put this in your notes. I want you to go to 1 Samuel. I want you to read the story of the sons of Eli. I want you to go to 1 Samuel chapter 2. Read the whole chapter, 1 Samuel chapter 2. Okay? Let's move on. Let's see here. Yeah, that's a good story. 1 Samuel chapter 2. You'll get the gist of it. And then 1 Samuel chapter 3, read that story. Let's go to Exodus 21:17. Exodus 21:17. Go ahead, Art.
And he that curses his father or his mother shall surely be put to death.
Oh, wow. Hebrews 12. So, back in the day, it's still happening today. You curse your mother, father, basically not being obedient, not listening, not taking the wisdom and correction. A lot of our young people, we losing them. They losing their life. Back in the day, you would have been physically put to death.
Mm-hmm.
But today, our young people are putting themselves to death. Hebrews chapter 12, Hebrews 12:6. Go ahead.
Whom El loveth, he chasteneth.
He did what?
He chasteneth.
Okay, the Most High is going to punish them. Go ahead.
And scourgeth every son whom he receiveth.
Okay, you're a son because you take the punishment from the Most High. Go ahead.
If ye endure chastening, El dealeth with you as with sons.
He dealeth with us as sons if we're able to be corrected by the Most High. Go ahead.
For what son is he whom the father chasteneth not?
So what kind of son are you if your parent don't discipline you or you don't let your parent discipline you? What kind of child are you?
Mm-hmm.
You're a child of the devil.
Child
You're
of
a
the
disrespectful, unruly child if your parents are unable to correct you. So, sisters and brothers, we're going to stop right there. We're at the end of the lesson anyway. But today, forgive us this day is a lesson that I wanted to try to help our generations and our community get back to the understanding that we need the light in us. If the light is in us and we want to pray to the Most High, it's only going to work if there is no grudges, no out there against anyone. And I feel like the young people need to be forgiven and the old people need to be forgiven for the situations that we put in our youngsters. It's a lot of repentance and forgiveness to go around if you have the heart to receive the message. Khan? And we can stand and close out. We got a minute left. I appreciate everybody for joining us here on this 22nd day of the month. The Most High says the same. We will see you again on the next Shabbat. All praise to the Most High. Go ahead, close us out.
O El Elyon, creator of all things, who are fearful and strong, and righteous and merciful, and the only and gracious King, the only giver of all things, the only just, almighty, and everlasting. Thou that deliverest Israel from all trouble, and didst choose the fathers and sanctify them. Receive the sacrifice for thy whole people Israel, and preserve thine own portion and sanctify it. Gather those together that are scattered from us. Deliver them that serve thee among the heathen. Look upon them that are despised and abhorred, and let the heathen know that thou art El Elyon. Punish them that oppress us, and with pride do us wrong. Plant thy people again in thy holy place, as Moses has spoken.
Halal El.
Halal El.
Halal El Elyon.
Halal El Elyon.
Halal El Shaddai.
Halal El Shaddai.
All praise and glory, sisters and brothers. That ends our lesson for today. We thank you for joining us. Most High say the same. We see you next Shabbat. Shalom.